Hello there, Suicide for Celluloid. Okay, well, it's late. I was working on my computer, which decided to stop running. So I watched your video. I thought that was an interesting comparison that you asked. I think I only listened to it once, and sometimes you video that long, you get thinking. Thank you for bringing up this moralizing point, that I'm moralizing somehow, because uh, it hadn't occurred to me, and it should have. But that by talking about values, I thought it would be clear, and of course not, because there is this uh, confounding of moralism, morals, and values. Now, I have a theory of morals, but they don't really mean what you were talking about. They're not ought to kinds of things, and they're not ahead of time. They're not preparatory. They don't guide in that sense. I'm talking about result type values, and when I say values and examples I've done in some of my videos, it's like chocolate or vanilla, hot, cold climate versus hot climate. Which do you value more? And as a skeptic and a relativist, basically, those are the little strings that make the cloth and the paper. I mean, those are the little fibers that weave together to make the shapes of our macroscopic reality. So to me, I didn't jump to that. It's just that I have watched Skep passively talk to Skid Row Radio, and I have seen a lot of fact nitpicking. And the video I made, it's kind of just a couple videos before, I forget, I mentioned in some video, it might be the one that has the name Brett Keane in the title, and it was a bunch of different brain dump kind of things. But I had mentioned that, Skep, I have sided with Skep when he picks things out. But also haven't looked that deeply because I'm not that interested, because to me that's not where the real debate lies. So the timing to me is not so much the limitation of a video at all. It's that there's actually has been years, and I've been fine with that. There's a maturing process. It's not like, oh, that's bugged me and I finally had to say something. It's like, it's like oh, look, that's going on. And then finally I'm like, wait a second. And the question is the interesting one to me. Which are the values? And granted, vanilla versus chocolate, we're saying that's an arbitrary thing. When you get into values like, well, do you have a value that says stealing is a valuable activity? Yes or no? You could do it either way. I mean, it's a relativistic world. Right, but if you're a thief, then you're also going to be treated like a thief. So, we have a problem in that case, but I don't see it as a philosophical problem. I see it as a much more practical problem than that. The philosophical part of it is to make those categories in the first place, to invent terms in which to state the values, to try to figure out real results of things. I'm making some predictions in this, but they're not. But it's not an ought kind of statement, because it's just that I predict that the results of secret governments are not of value to me. If Snowden's leaks made the government more secret, then maybe I might be against it. But I don't think that's the case. It might try to do that, but in the end, it's got to come to a push and a shove, and this is not how free societies are supposed to work. And I just, there's an analytic aspect that I think the system design that's involved with somebody made a comment that's like, well, what's the ultimate end game here? Do you have a secret society? If the secret services are sometimes doing the wrong thing, do you have a secret service that watches them, and a secret service is an infinite regress? Which is sort of an interesting, like, just I mean, to me, it seems like a simple way to point out that, if you iterate over this idea, it does not work. It's like, we will hold the bridge up with skyhooks. It's like, but it's a really good idea if it could work. So the value judgment is it's not a moralism. I mean, I think whatever the difference in values are, they're both going to be legitimate, kind of by definition, if it's values. People can change their values. Values can be informed. Someone can find out that their values are in conflict, and one value will win out, and this one will have to modify itself and change or even go away. So it's not to say that well, I just think you shine light on what they are and what they seem to mean to everybody involved, and things continue to get clear. And we, in that metaphor, are living in such a dark, dim place where everybody can't see very far or very clearly, that it seems very profitable to just shine as much light. I don't really know why people sometimes resist that, if this is their hobby. I mean, I understand why regular people resist it, but in this hobby, it's hard to figure out, and I've had to face that people are doing all different kinds of things. But I think that it's illuminating in any case. But it also does help if your attitude is to maximize the illumination rather than anything else. Not unselfishly. I mean, it's the illumination for me of nooks and crannies that I chose to shine the lights into and stuff. Someone could say, hey, why aren't you shining it back there? But if they do, I'll probably go, yeah, what is right there? So, all right, cheers. Sometimes you video that long, you get sometimes you video that long, you get sometimes you video that long, you get